Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Reverend Theresa Fieberts and I'm so happy that you're here with me in my living room. I'm happy to be in your living room. This is our 7th Sunday of love streaming. And I call it love streaming. I know it's live streaming, but I call it love streaming because during this time of physical distancing does not mean that we have to feel disconnected. Not disconnected from each other and not disconnected from our source. And so we're going to be talking about that this morning. Last week we had Jana Stanfield with us, and that was fabulous. I hope you were with us, and if not, watch the recorded video. She was great, and she asked us to consider what would we do this week or this year if we had no fear, right? And so I don't know if you pondered it this week. I hope that you did. And maybe you had an awareness. Maybe you heard or felt your answer in a very real and authentic and deep way. Maybe you felt that fire in the belly, yeah? Which is the urge from within to create, to express through us, in us, as us. And maybe you didn't. And if not, or you weren't on with us last week, well, we're going to talk about that this morning. Hopefully what I share will help inspire you to spend that time and create that discipline to invite this voice from within. The theme for today is Fire in the Belly. And this theme is a Centers for Spiritual Living global theme. And I love that. It was created by the home office staff in Golden, Colorado. And I love that centers all over the world are talking about this concept. Now I changed things up, and this was written before the pandemic. So, you know, I changed things up and put my own spin on it. But the concept that people are talking about one thing, you know, uniting us in consciousness is very powerful. So I appreciate that you've joined us in consciousness this morning as well. I think that today, globally, you know, I used to say in our society or in our culture, well, globally, we're being called into something new. And I feel that very strongly. And I feel that it is an opportunity for us to recreate, for us to redesign the world in which we live and we share. And I'm going to read a quote from the Science Mind magazine from last Thursday, which is, "You are a conduit. You are a conduit." And this is a quote by Albert Einstein. "Art is standing with one hand extended into the universe and one hand extended into the world and letting ourselves be that conduit for passing energy." Art, science, philosophy, your own personal life, we're that conduit for life to flow through us, as us. And that's such an exciting thing. So to get back to Jana, she asked us, what would you do if you had no fear? Well, individually and collectively, we are being called to answer that question. And the answer is a truth with a capital T that's inside of us. We're passing that energy through, right? So I'm so excited. And this morning, we're going to take a hint from our Muslim friends who last Thursday began Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. So I'm going to bring a little information into our time together around Ramadan, which is a time of fasting and prayer. And so if you join me right now, just in setting the tone for our time together, to recognize that we are this conduit. And right here and right now, there is a flow of energy. There is a presence, a divine presence, a spiritual impulse, an energy. And it is moving through me. It is moving through and as and is the technology that connects me to you, from my house to your house. And I affirm that this flow, this dance, this harmony, this rhythm is one of goodness, is one of unconditional love, is one of truth with the capital T, is one of inspiration. And so I open myself to be that now, in maybe a greater way than ever before. And I affirm for each person within the sound of my voice is touched and uplifted and inspired for that truth, their truth, unique truth, individual truth to come forward in a way that cannot be missed. This I know is our possibility, and so I claim it now. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you for that. We have a treat, another treat, every day, every morning, every opportunity is a treat. And right now, I'm going to invite my friend Mindy Simmons on. Mindy is a local singer-songwriter, and I'm going to let her open us up her beautiful way that she does.
Thank you, Theresa. Namaste. Namaste to all who have joined us. So earlier, Theresa and I were talking about the Conduit Factor. And musically, yes, we musicians connect people musically. But I personally have found in my life that I am a conduit of stuff. Not for me to gain, but for others to gain through me. So I shared her a story and she said, oh, you've got to share that. So very quickly, people at my open mic years ago, this has got to be 20 years ago, some kids had rented a house and they called me and said, Mindy, you say you're a conduit for stuff. Well, we need a couch. And I said, okay, thank you. I'll set that intention. So I set the intention, and the very same day, that afternoon, my father called me and said, Mindy, you say you're a conduit for stuff. Well, your mother and I have some friends who are getting rid of a couch. And so there became the exchange of the couch through my connections of people. And the most fabulous thing to me about that was that the couch was 7 feet long, and it was that faux velvet from the 60s, and it was orange and lime green and striped yellow. And when we got it to the house that these kids had rented, the carpet was shag rug orange. And so the couch fit the house, fit the kids, fit the carpet. It was magnificent, and I was honored to be the conduit. So what I've found in my life is that in the intention of being a conduit, I have to slow down. And that's been very hard until this pandemic has slowed everybody down, right? Well, this is a song that I wrote before when I realized I was so busy that I was wrapped up in ADD and not slowing down and just spinning around. It's called Busy Being Busy. It goes like this. Oh, well, I can't make up my mind of what to do. I'm just so busy. I'm busy, 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 busy. I'm busy, 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 busy. I can't make up my mind of what to do. I'm just so busy. I'm busy, 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 being busy. I've started somewhere on my way to nowhere. I'm spinning round in my world of complication. I need to sit down and let the world slow down. Maybe learn a new technique called meditation. Because I can't make up my mind of what to do. I'm just so busy. I'm busy, 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 busy. I'm busy, 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 busy. I can't make up my mind of what to do. I'm just so busy. I'm busy, 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 being busy. I've got to focus on my responsibilities. I've got to slow down and settle on priorities. I'm reaching out. Please, Theresa, won't you help me? Please guide me through all this confusion. I'm down here on my knees because I can't make up my mind of what to do. I'm just so busy. I'm busy, 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 busy. I'm busy, 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 busy. I can't make up my mind of what to busy, 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 being busy. I'm busy, 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 getting dizzy. I'm busy, 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 being busy, getting nothing done.
Oh, it's so cool. Thank you, Mindy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, I have a reading from the book called This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. You have a silent partner within you whose energy is inexhaustible and whose intelligence is without limit. Your silent partner is more than a subjective or unconscious reaction to life. It is life itself. You must find and maintain a close communion with your true center. Your creative power is not an act of the will. It is rather an act of your willingness to believe. And you are believing in something greater than your objective self, something beyond the collective thought of the world. Your creative power comes from the originating spirit itself, which knows no limit, is conditioned by no circumstance, and governed by no law outside itself. Throw yourself with complete abandon into the all-consuming fire of the inward conviction. Say, I know that the divine spirit is operating through me now. I know that I am not limited by anything that has happened or by anything that is now happening. I am entering into an entirely new set of conditions and circumstances. That which has no limit is flowing through my consciousness into action. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. Ooh, and now we have another song from Mindy.
Wow. I love these services. I tune in even when I'm not on. This is a chant that I learned from a rabbi. And I learned it long enough ago that I don't even know if I'm really singing the right melody. But it is a guiding chant that I sing for myself a lot, and especially when I'm setting out to meditate and get focused. And it's called Rising Up. And this is how it goes. Feel free to chant along with me. It goes like this. My heart is opening, opening, opening. My heart is opening, opening wide. And we'll sing that again. My heart is opening, opening, opening. My heart is opening, opening wide into a new day, into a new way, into a love that's divine. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising, rising.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Wendy. That's so beautiful. Thank you. You know, I hope you're taking advantage of the fact that nobody can see or hear you right now, that you can sing, you can dance, you can experience the music and the message and the reading and all of that in a way that works uniquely for you, without any fear of somebody judging what you're doing, you know. That's the way I felt as I was singing out with Mindy, you know. Yeah, we're rising up. What I want to preface my message with is that this is not a comparative religion course. I am not an expert in Islam, not even a Bible scholar, an expert in Christianity. But I do want to share some thoughts that I have. As I already mentioned, Ramadan began Thursday, this past Thursday, and Muslims all over the world are at this time of year reminded of Muhammad's time of fasting, of Muhammad's time of contemplation and reflection as he went into the mountain cave, where it is said that he received the verses of the Quran from Archangel Gabriel. And so followers during this entire 30-day period will fast from sunup to sundown in that recognition and in that modeling that Muhammad gave them. And so they fast from water and food during that sunup to sundown time, but also during this entire month they are fasting from sex and alcohol and smoking and all the temptations and desires that we all are up against on a daily basis, even abstaining from gossiping and lying and really honing this time as a time to increase their spiritual awareness, their awareness of the divinity in life, their awareness and practice of spiritual principles and practices. It's a time of reflection, it's a time of revelation, and it's a time of recommitment to spiritual practice. So I'm using this as a springboard for us. I have friends that have been practicing and adhering to Ramadan for the past 8 years. And so I called yesterday and I talked to one of them, and so I'm going to use some of his words. He said that it's a period of time for him that shuts down the thinking mind and it calms all those desires. And he talked about even the word food, how using the word food is such a lure, you know. We salivate when we use the word food. We salivate when we look at pictures of food or have images in our head of food. And so it's a very strong desire. So this abstaining during the day brings all that awareness up of what's going on in our mind. And I will tell you that during this time of isolation, this time of staying at home, and it's almost every night I'm saying, what's for dessert? And of course there is no dessert in the house because we don't eat like that. But almost every single night I'm like having images of little chocolate chip cookies dancing in my mind, you know. And it is such, our mind, if it's allowed to run rampant, it does. It does. And that's not just yours, it's mine too. And so my friend is telling me that about day 20 in the 30-day fast, about day 20, there's a relief. There's a relief and a calming, a settling of all that chatter and the grasping and the desires that make you go crazy. And there develops an awareness that the discipline that you've been using has helped you master the mind, or master the chatter, or master this body, this earth suit, he called it, as we have. that there's something higher going on, a higher calling for us, should we listen. And he also talked about the gratitude that comes to him every morning and evening when he has his morning and evening meal, before sunup or sunrise, sunset, that he's in such a place of gratitude for the food on his plate, for how it came to him, for all of that. And so just a beautiful practice, I think. Now, because I was raised Catholic, I couldn't help in my reading and in talking to my friend, I couldn't help feel the relationship with Lent that Christians have. And so Lent is a time, in my estimation, of reminding ourselves of the 40 days and 40 nights that Jesus had, that he spent in the desert. And this was his time of exploration and discovery, right? And it was a time of fasting and seeking and finding guidance, which he did, as the story goes. And he is said to have said that a man does not live on bread alone, but by the words of God, right? The word of God. And that's not found out there. It's found in the cave, in the desert. It's found within. Metaphorically, it's found within. There's that inner compass. Ernest Holmes said this: there's a place within us that lies open to the infinite. There's a place within each one of us that lies open to the infinite. So am I suggesting that we all fast? It's not, you could, absolutely. But not because you somehow have persuaded God through your observance and your devotion that now you've won some favor. We wouldn't do it for that reason. Not looking at it from a science mind perspective, because the universe plays no favorites. Fast or don't fast, that's not what it's about in the realm of consciousness. But fasting and prayer can open us to a greater possibility, to the field of receptivity that is within our own minds. So again, in the Science Mind textbook, we read, we walk by falling forward. Water falls by its own weight. The planets are eternally falling through space. Everything sustains itself by nature. And the only reason that man is limited is that he has not allowed the divine within him or her to more completely express. That's what I'm talking about this morning. Because if you or I want to create something, if we want to accomplish something, or we want to have a new career, or we have a greater idea of health, or have some expression within us that's wanting to come out, we must give up all else. We must give up what stands in our way. We must release or abstain from repeating the old stories. We must heal the old wounds. We need to release all ideas of impossibility, lack, or limitation. We need to let go of what we no longer want in order to embrace that which is new and fresh and ours to do in the world. We must have a complete reliance upon and trust in the source and substance of life, in that source, in that law of all good. And I can't imagine that there's a more important time for us to recognize that. There has not been a more important time in my life for me to trust the divine within me and to listen to how it wants to move me forward. Sonia Choquette, in her book, Soul Lessons and Soul Purposes, said it this way: you must not define yourself by experiences or conditions, i.e. pandemic, i.e. staying home. You must not define yourself by experiences or conditions. For while these are tools that we may use, they are not who you are. You are spirit, a fiery, heavenly intelligence created by God and unlimited in nature. Amen. Yes, 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 yes. And we tap into that heavenly intelligence, not on the news, but in here. In here. We do it by prayer and meditation. We make our connection in here. We find our inspiration within. We see our path within. And we see the obstacles or those things, those problems that we call them, that appear like obstacles to our path within. Within. Just as Jesus and Muhammad did. And they had to leave the scene. They had to go isolate themselves. They had to go quarantine themselves, right? They had to withdraw from the busyness that Mindy sang about so that they could go within to that place of inspiration, to that place of wisdom and truth. So Ernest Holmes has this beautiful writing about fasting and prayer in his book, The Hidden Power of the Bible. And so I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit. He says, a poet waits in the silence of her own soul for inspiration and is praying that she may invoke the spirit of poetry to her listening ear. He says, a sculptor, while chiseling at his marble, withholding food from his mouth, contemplates the beauty to be brought forth from the knot and prays to his God of art. And the farmer kneels beside the cabbage patch and trusts in the natural law of good to bring that seed to harvest, to bring it forward. The idea and the law to bring it about all resides within this spiritual universe that we live within. So we go into the desert or up onto the mountain and into the cave or onto the couch or onto our cushion simply to go within and to invite Spirit's guidance. This process is how I knew that it was time to begin the spiritual community, by going within. It's how I knew that it was time to not meet on a Sunday morning on March 14th, the Saturday before, and to do this, to have you come into my living room, for me to come into your home. That process is how I knew. And that process is how we will know once again when it is time to meet in person and what that is going to look like. It is going to come from that process. It is going to come from within. It is not going to be because of the news, from some executive order. It will come from the executive order within me and within you. Our ideas come out of the silence. All the great ideas come out of the silence. And maybe they're felt ideas. Maybe we hear them. Maybe we see them. Maybe we use all our faculties, because we have faculties beyond those that we learn about in school. Those beyond the obvious ones. So we have to hone that skill, that listening skill. And I'm encouraging us right now to listen for our gifts, for our unique gifts. Jana last week encouraged you and hopefully inspired you to listen for your own gifts and where you are to be giving them. And Mindy listens and receives and welcomes these songs that come through her. That's the creative process and the wisdom that lies within us. So whether it's your next job or where you're going to invest your time or money or your love, those hints, those ideas come from within you. We are made of the divine. We are made of the divine. We are always connected. We are never disconnected. And each day, we step into the world given opportunities to contribute. Opportunities to contribute our own unique experience and influence and ideas and talents and gifts. And last week I said, and I want to repeat, and it doesn't have to be something that looks big. You know, Jana's project of going to Malaysia and teaching refugee teens how to edit videos seems really big to me. That seems huge to me. And starting a spiritual community, as Bobby and I have done, seems huge to other people. There's something unique for each one of us to do. And we don't have to label it big or small, right? It's just ours to do in the world. Again, Jana asked us, what would you do if you had no fear? And I'm asking us to listen, to really hone our practices of listening. And it may simply be that my calling is to be present to the world. My calling is to be present to each other, to be of service in that way, or to be the best grandparent that I can possibly be, or the best daughter or sister or brother or father, right? So tonight and throughout this week, listen. Listen gently. Listen fervently. Listen to what the fire in your belly is telling you. It may be to forgive someone. That may be it. It may be to forgive someone, to make amends, to contribute in some way to the answer, to the solution to a problem that you see somewhere. I invite you to pay attention to when you feel that inner nudge and really sit with it. Sit with us. I spoke a few weeks ago about the distracted popcorn, about the ways that we distract ourselves. So I'm really wanting to focus now on not distracting, turning away from our distractions and going within. And so I'm inviting you to do that with me now. I'm going to do an affirmative prayer, what we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And so we just go within to this place where I know life is rich and abundant. And I go within openly and lean myself, relax myself into the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving, and present spirit, source, essence, divinity, whatever we call this thing, God, whatever we choose to call this power and presence, this source and substance of the very thing that breathes me, that very thing right now. I lean into it. I release into it. And I know all my answers that I've ever sought are right here within. That all the truth with the capital T resides right here within. And I know for myself, and I know for everyone within the sound of my voice, I know for everyone, everywhere, for all beings, that it is natural for us, easy for us, graceful to feel this connection. For it is an impossibility for us to ever be separate. There is only one thing ever happening, and it is life itself. It is coming from the invisible into the visible by means of me, by means of each one of us. So I let go of all my distractions. I release all distractions and allow myself to be fully present and fully awake and fully aware of that still small voice within. I know that there is a guidance that guards and instructs me, that there is a guidance that makes all the crooked places straight, that brings forth ideas that are uniquely suited to me. And so use my words as your own, for I know this for each person. That there is a fire in my belly. There is a design and an interest, an urge to do and create and to have and to love and to be in a way that only happens through me. It is that divine imprint within me. And it comes forth with such clarity and with such confidence that everything that would ever look like an obstacle is erased, is released, dissolves into the no-thingness from where it came. I release now all fear, all worry, all anxiety of stepping forth. I know that there is no condition in this universe that is more powerful and stronger than that power within me to create and to love and to be and to express. And that I hold so precious. And I know and affirm, as we awaken, as we are awakening now to that which which wants to express, the world is a world that works for everyone, where everyone has awoken to what is theirs to do, to the love, to the interconnectivity, to the interdependence, to the importance and the respect of all life, all goodness, all truth. Now is the time. And I accept this truth. And I seek ways to go deeper and to bond with and to experience and to know what is mine to do. And so now I can release this word in great acceptance and excitement and a celebration. For I know already in the mind of God that this is so. And I allow the law of the universe to do its good and perfect work. The seed has been planted. And I celebrate its harvest. And join me in that celebration by saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Yes, and so it is. Thank you for going there with me. And now I invite Mindy back for another song. Mindy.
And so it is. I was thinking about what Bob read earlier about from Ernest Holmes, and I'm reading it in the chat here. Your creative power is not an act of the will. It is rather an act of your willingness to believe. And I have found that so in my life. And when my belief falters, I have learned to practice faith that it is so. This is a song that I wrote called Faith Is. I hope that it is for you as well. Beyond what I believe is how I live with you. Walking the talk takes confidence in everything you do. Faith is more than thinking, it's more than what you know. It's trusting intuition and letting worries go. Faith gives me strength. Faith helps me cope. Faith shapes my life and fills my heart with hope. As I walk in faith, my life is whole. Faith is my guide and compass for my soul. Like a duckling on the water, never carries any fright. Always trusting in its wings, it launches into flight. Faith gives me strength. Faith helps me cope. Faith shapes my life and fills my heart with hope. As I walk in faith, my life is whole. Faith is my guide and compass for my soul. Keep the faith, y'all. Namaste.
Mindy, thank you so much. Thank you for being us with this morning and for playing with me in that realm of spirit. Songs were perfect,
Thank you.
as I knew that they would be. And I love you, and thanks for sharing with us.
I love you too.
Thank you. Bye. Wow. So perfect. I love playing with people who are open. It's we don't orchestrate, and we allow that divine mind to orchestrate. Man, it works every single time. Works perfectly. This is our time of giving, and I just want to express that I so appreciate your continued support. I cannot tell you how much it means to Bobby and I and to our board to know that we're viable and that we can continue doing what we're doing, and that when things shift, as we know that they will, but we don't know what it's going to look like afterwards, but we know that we will be viable and we will be able to meet and to exceed your expectations and to still be present and part of your lives as you are our lives. And so right now, Evan Schulte from our Board of Trustees is posting on Facebook the 4 ways that you can give. There's 4 different ways. You can mail a check, you can use PayPal, whatever. And also in the description at YouTube, this information is there. You got to click on the more, but you'll see all that information. And so again, thank you very, very much. I am going to also post this poem that Bobby and I are going to share in just a minute. I'll post that on Facebook so you have it, but I have been keeping that on our email as well. And if you're not on our email list and you would like to be on our email list, go to our website and you can sign up. It says sign up for the newsletter, but that's what it is, our emails that come out weekly. And that is CSLCulturalCoast.org. And that's where you can find our website. And so one more thing I want to say about Ramadan. And I always like to have this time of giving be a little spiritual lesson as well. And so one other thing about Ramadan is they practice almsgiving at this time. And they believe in tithing and sharing of their wealth. And especially at this time of Ramadan, they give to social justice causes, to places of liberation and that type of thing. So just wanted to point that out. I love it. And as you know, we are a tithing community. We tithe 10% back into the community. And one of our tithes that you all saw was to Streets of Paradise recently. And Hector Muniz, also on our Board of Trustees, checked in with them this week with Streets of Paradise to see how they were doing. And they are actually feeding 200 homeless people every night, every day. 200, just here in Sarasota alone, 200 people daily. So the need has definitely been increased during this time. And so we asked what we could do to help. They need bottled water and packaged snacks, you know, like crackers and cheese or crackers and peanut butter, that kind of thing. And if you want more information, get in touch with either Hector or myself, and we'll let you know, or we'll put you together, or we'll be contributing in that way to Streets of Paradise. So we have this opportunity now to read this Ernest Holmes poem, and I want you, when you hear this, to really take it in and open your heart to all those that are in need, all people, all beings that are in need at this time, that are suffering, as you also claim and know your own good. We affirm for ourselves what we want for all people. Good and more good is mine.
An ever-increasing good is mine.
There is no limit to the good which is mine.
Everywhere I go, I see this good. I feel it. I experience it.
It crowds itself against me, flows through me, and expresses itself in me, and multiplies itself around me.
I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. Sing along. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good, pass it on. Did you want to mention about Tuesday's prayer circle? We have Tuesday's online prayer circle, and we have Thursday's meditation with Julie online. And got more to say?
I'm just going to also say that I just posted the Zoom link. So if you want to come in and we can see each other face to face and just have a little coffee conversation time like we would normally be doing if we were still at the Garden Club. Yes, and join us on Tuesday nights. You know, I've been calling that a prayer circle, but it really is a time for us to touch base and receive support from one another. And so those links are on the emails that are sent out on Tuesday morning, and also Julie Birch's meditation. So thanks, Bobby. And ready to close?
Okay. Also, if you need individual prayer support, email us. Elaine Silver, Tom Dieter, and I are available.
And me, I pray on those prayer requests too.
Yes. So email us your prayer requests. And
thanks for being with us. Thank you.
There's a light in the center of everyone. It can light up the world just like the sun. There's a flame within us that can light our way. It can burn away the darkness of a troubled day. Sing it. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine, Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Whenever you see darkness, you've got to know that the light is within you. Everywhere you go, whatever you are facing, whatever's on your mind, you can help illuminate it. Let your light, let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. All right, thanks very much. We'll see you on Zoom.
Yeah.
Hang on.